Welcome back, guys, to the BSL. I, of course, am joined by Gypsy. We're going to be starting off the round of 8 today, and we've got two very exciting matches. We're going to see if Ultra's the real deal because he'll be going up against a monster in Ziki. But the match that everybody wants to see, it's going to be Bonyth versus OyA because we've got two stories going down here. We've got Bonyth, of course, looking for a 5-peat, right? Like this is the 5th time potentially. And then, but OyA, it's his destiny, Gypsy. It's his destiny to make the finals, remember?
Yeah, it could be his destiny, dude. Actually, this is a rematch of last season where they actually played each other, right? I'm pretty sure Bonyth versus OyA. I forget exactly when it was, but I distinctly remember we were interviewing both of them and they had very kind words for one another. So I'm pretty sure this is a rematch of last season's semifinals. Where, and then they, this is for sure a rematch of the semifinals because then, where Bonyth won 3-0 and they both exchanged very kind words. So we'll have to see, you know, where OyA was like, oh, this guy's just so hard, and then Bonyth was talking about how OyA's up and coming and he is on the cusp of like overtaking him and possibly, you know, anyway, it's a challenge for both players. So this is going to be a sick, exciting match, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be our first game of the day, right? So we're already going straight into the jackpot. I don't know.
The jackpot. Oh, look at that. I just...
Oh, yeah, you just slide it in, dude.
I just slide it in right there. Yeah, so this should be very exciting because PvP, you know, I've always thought of it as a coin flippy type matchup, but then you see players like Rain or Snow who have these ridiculous win rates at it, obviously proving that's not a coin flip. And then Bonyth, as you mentioned, 3-0 last season. I am hoping to see that OyA at least puts a win on the board. That's what I want to see. But really, I would really like to see him go all the way. Not just because he's done better and better every single season, but I would finally like to see Bonyth lose a series. Like, that just doesn't happen ever.
Yeah, you gotta feel bad if you're Bonyth. I feel like at this point everyone's cheering against you, you know, like, or no one would really... It would be exciting for him to lose, you know, so... it must be an interesting feeling to be him. But of course, Bonyth, like you said, a 4-time BSL champion. This is him going for his 5th. We'll have to see if he can make it through OyA. And I mean, later today, of course, we're gonna have that sick matchup as well, Ultra versus Ziki. And then tomorrow, we're gonna have some awesome matches as well. As you can see, the bottom side of the bracket: Terror, Dandy, True Touch, Zerg. We did mention this last week, how we just have a bunch of mirror matchups, and you know, that's fine with me, Nyokin, because I feel like we don't see mirrors too often, you know. So, well, I mean, I feel like in the BSL we do, but I don't know, man. I like mirrors.
Yeah, mirrors can be fun.
I look at myself in the mirror.
Oh yeah, and you like what you see when you wake up?
Yeah, I do like what I
Yeah, I like mirror matchups. You know, I do a lot of, or was doing a lot of casting, and I was always asked, like, okay, what matchups do foreigners like to see? And I was like, TVP, Terran vs. Zerg, Protoss vs. Zerg, basically anything that's not a mirror. So it is nice to see some mirror matchups here. As I'm looking at the bracket,
yeah,
man, I'm actually... Remember last season, Zerg versus Bonyth, that crazy Sylphid game where Zerg had it, man?
Well, that was seasons ago.
Or 2 seasons ago, where Zerg had it. And I'm looking at the bracket, how it could possibly play out if Bonyth was to go to the finals again. He could potentially face Zerg. He could potentially face True Touch. That would be another huge rivalry. He could face Dandy or Terror. You know, actually, Terror is starting to start a rivalry with some of the Protoss players because Terror's gone pretty deep consistently through not just BSL, but also other tournaments.
Yeah. You know, I almost have like a dream-like recollection of that Zerg versus Bonyth series, and specifically that Sylphid game. I have like not even just a dream-like recollection, but it's like a nightmare. Like, all I see when I think about that is like a shuttle and a Reaver killing a bunch of drones, and I feel like that's probably how Zerg feels about it too. That was such an epic game, but we'll see if they do meet eventually. Of course, before we get to that point, we have a lot of games to go through. Bonyth versus OyA being one of them. You can see both players obviously have an insane win rate, but Bonyth just, you gotta have PvP, man, 92%. And we keep saying these versus Protoss statistics in BSL kind of matter a lot because for the most part, like the most successful players are Protoss players. We're thinking about Bonyth, Dawid, even OyA, Boa, who has been like a mainstay in the past couple seasons as well, just such a strong Protoss player. And so seeing Bonyth with a 92% win rate and then seeing OyA with a 50% win rate, I mean, you know who's kind of the favorite here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous statistics across the board for Bonyth. And the funniest part about that versus Protoss statistics is a lot of the games are versus Dawid. It almost seems like they're destined to meet almost every single BSL. Of course, this time they didn't meet simply because Dawid got eliminated in the round of 24. A very shocking result, actually. But if he had made it past, there's no doubt in my mind that they would have set up for a potential rematch somewhere along the lines.
Yeah.
What are the maps today? I actually have to take a look. This should be interesting.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because we're gonna wait for the players to get ready anyway. I know Zero PM'd this to us, and you just weren't paying attention. Oh no, this is just
okay.
Because there's a whole format, guys. There's a whole format where both players veto a map and then they pick. So because, you know, the map pool, there's 7 maps, right? I'm not even gonna go through. I mean, okay, I know. There's Blindside, Tau Cross, Blue Storm, Shakuras, Polypoid, Eclipse.
And your boy?
No,
my boy?
Yeah.
My boy?
I don't know, dude. Oh,
Power Bond, baby. Power Bond, baby.
Right. So anyway, those are the 7 maps, right, guys? And because the round of 8 is just best of 5s, both players start by vetoing a map, and then they start picking the orders of the map. So that's exactly what the players are doing right now, getting ready for the game. What do you think? I mean, there's no whatever. I don't know, dude. It's PvP.
Well, you know me.
We're not Protoss players. Where's Seriosity? Where's a Protoss
where's Seriosity?
expert?
We need him for the Protoss mindset.
Well,
I'll just.
Seri doesn't even play PvP though, so.
Oh yeah, he plays Zerg. He started. You know, he pulled a dragon.
Fake Protoss.
Fake Protoss. Yeah. You know me. I'm all about playing standard maps. So if I'm going in here, I'm looking at this map pool. Well, I guess I have 3 options, right? It's either Blue Storm, Blindside, or Tau Cross are gone. They are out of here.
Dude,
and actually,
you know
I think I would. What?
Think about this, dude. I was about to say, wouldn't Blue Storm be Bonyth's map? I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
2-gate. It's 2-gate galore on that map. But he banned it.
He banned that?
Yeah, he banned that.
Wow, I can't believe he banned that. So
right?
And yeah, he banned. I was thinking that in my mind also is that Bonyth is going to pick this map because it's a very micro-intensive 2-player map.
Yeah.
If you micro well, all of a sudden you're going to snowball it really.
And I mean,
hard,
for the people that don't know, like 2-gate is standard on that map. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a standard opener for PvP because you get through there's no ramp, right? Like it's open, and like there's no choke really. Like for example, even a map like Sylphid. That's why there's an egg on Sylphid, because it's all whatever low ground or same height kind of expansions or whatever. Like the choke has to be blocked, but like on Blue Storm the choke is huge, so you can't even hold that with like one zealot. So like 2-gate is just supreme on that map, and you know, I mean honestly both these players 2-gate all the time.
Yeah, and you can avoid the choke if you just build the gateways in their base. I mean, that's an option. I've seen it on Blue Storm multiple times. So it's funny you say that because I was thinking that Bonyth wouldn't ban that. Yeah. But if it was me playing, this would probably be my ban. I would probably veto Blue Storm, even though I've never played Blindside and I know it's a BSL specific map, just because of how weird I know Blue Storm gets from the get-go, and we're out of there. It's gone. Just out of here. And then I would actually hope that the other guy bans Blindside.
Well, I think we're going to be... Basically, this first map is going to be OyA's pick. So, it is... oh, and it's going to be Polypoid. So, this is OyA's pick out of all the maps. Of course, it's a small advantage to get into the series on your map pick. I mean, there's not much to say about this map. We've seen OyA proxy 2-gate in the center map on this map a number of times against yours truly as well.
Yes, I was actually thinking, I just saw this the other day. Who is it versus? Yeah, proxy 2-gate. So, are we ready? I think we're ready, right?
Okay.
So let's get into our first game of the day. It's going to be OyA G versus the King Bonyth. So in the bottom right, in the blue, you know who it is. It is Bonyth.
Yeah, who be it? And in the red, it's OyA G. Top left as well.
So we got cross spawns here. Oh, there it is! Is this gonna be the center gate? This is a probe going out on 6. So
it's always
already
2 gate, dude. Like, you can't 1 gate in this matchup.
You know, we saw in ASL that mini versus best series where, okay, I won't spoil results here, but somebody was very aggressive with proxy 2 gate 2 games in a row. So you know that obviously both of these players have seen those games, and maybe OyA G is trying to take a page out of one of those players' books. And we do see that Bonyth is going just for standard pylon in his main, and OyA G, this is going to be most likely a 9-9 gate.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is going to be a 9-9 gate because 1 gate doesn't do anything in this matchup, at least with the Zealot pressure. So Bonyth himself actually not scouting after the 10 gate, which in a sense is almost better for him because it's very unlikely that you actually scout the center of the map in this matchup, and the probe's not going to confirm this 2 gate for a while longer. The extra mining does, well, he does actually go and scout. The extra mining does add up sometimes. We'll see if he actually does see this gateway in the middle.
Well, okay. Bonyth is going to scout top right and see nobody's there. Oh, I thought he was going to the center. He is going to the center, and he sees it. And actually, before he scouted, I was thinking, you know what? I'm kind of worried for Bonyth because we had Team 4 and All-Stars go up against Snow in the previous couple weeks. And Snow, every single game, skipped Zealot in PvP and ended up going Goon. And he held off every single pressure play from all of the foreigners without building a single Zealot. And I thought that Bonyth was probably going to steal that opener, try and just micro a Goon to infinity and beyond. But he does scout the center, and now he sees that this is a proxy 2 gate. And if you're an OyA G fan, you're already feeling like his chances of getting a win versus our superstar here is already kind of, you know, down in the dumps. If that's a battery, well, he's not getting up at all now.
Oh, this is perfect from Bonyth. And OyA already probably recognizes, well, he knows he got scouted. He's going to come up here, up this ramp, see exactly what we see, which is the shield battery and a nice kind of defensive line there with the Zealots. And so
there it is.
Yeah.
Yep, this is going to be a cannon contain, but Bonyth is going to go for a cannon himself to prevent this from happening. Actually, Bonyth comes in here and sees that there's no forge, so we really don't know what this is. It's going to be battery versus battery for now. Again, there was a game like this in ASL, so both players have this type of style fresh in their mind. Bonyth with the cannon first. That's going to trigger OyA G to attack, but there's a...
What?
Wow. He killed the probe because that Zealot with that range, he went right through the cap and jabbed him, knocked him down, so at least OyA G catches up with 1 probe, I guess.
Dude, did we get like a shadow patch in Brood War where Zealots get like some kind of crazy range? Because
well, I've seen some clips of you where Marines just explode across the map.
It makes no sense. This game doesn't sometimes, but you know, so far it's not looking too terribly bad for OyA G, to be completely honest. The biggest drawback for OyA, well, wait a second. He is going to try and push up here, but there's no way you're getting past this cannon. The cannon's going to just output so much damage. Zealots in conjunction with the shield battery can hold for a really long time. Now, the big problem here for OyA G, because, you know, looking at the situation, it's not so bad. That Manor Pylon's going to definitely hurt him. OyA G definitely has like a comparable economy. He definitely is probably down 2 or 3 probes, but the problem for him is that his gates are in the middle of the map. And at some point, Bonyth is going to break out of his contain. And if he gets access to killing those gateways that OyA G has in the middle of the map, it's going to be so hard for OyA G to come back from that.
Yeah, what's funny is that Forge from Bonyth slowed down his build quite a bit. You can see that OyA has so many more Zealots, and the Cybernetics time is at exactly the same timing. Like, literally, the same timing. The real difference maker here is this actual probe. Every time it pylon blocks, as you mentioned, because there's no gateway here, the pylon does a lot of damage. Now we see that OyA is going for a fast robo. There's no range. And now I'm kind of... Of course, we have full vision of Bonyth's base, and OyA doesn't. But I feel like he really needs range, because otherwise, how can he keep this contained forever?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was looking at too, is this Forge from Bonyth. Was it really necessary? What does it counter? Is it supposed to be a response to something like a 2-gate Forge from OyA? It definitely did slow down his build, but at the same time, these Zealots, slowly but surely, unless OyA somehow gets like a Citadel going, they're going to be pretty worthless against Dragoons with range. So, you know, it doesn't really matter that he has that many more than Bonyth. You can see already, Bonyth is just poking out with his Dragoons. There's nothing OyA can do about it, because if he attacks these Dragoons, they're just going to walk up back to safety. Of course, you don't want to have them get caught.
I'm very worried for OyA now, because that battery doesn't have any more shields to regen, and because he doesn't have range. Well, I mean, this is quite a bottleneck. It's hard for Bonyth to get down, but at the same time, if Bonyth ever gets down, his range is so much faster, he's going to be able to just walk across the map. And there's no way that OyA can really engage it. Robo is done. He's going to start putting down that support bay. But range is going to be kicking in any moment now for Bonyth. There it is. I guess it has kicked in. You can see he can just range from a distance.
Yeah, I love how Bonyth is playing. It's just so slow and methodical, so precise. Like, I'm just going to abuse... See, not even using all his Dragoons. Just a couple of Dragoons poking in and out, dishing out that damage, softening up all these units. Once he pushes down with the Zealots, it's going to be much easier for him to win this fight. Like, everything OyA has on this low ground has taken so much damage already that if they just fight it out, duke it out, like, he can't win. So you see Bonyth finally comes down, going to take this fight. It's pretty even numbers. I think Bonyth has a couple more units, but of course OyA's units are softened up and they die. Like, they are already yellow health, red health Zealots completely evaporated. Bonyth now has a supply lead as well, and these gateways in the middle of the map are jeopardized.
Yeah, and this is a 3-gate follow-up for Bonyth, so he's going to have more production than OyA, even if these gateways were in the... What did he just build? Did he just build a Nexus? He's about to lose his gates, man, and he's going to have no production.
Yeah, but I mean, he's dead anyway. Like, in a sense, I kind of... No, but I kind of do like this play from OyA, because I think he just thinks he has the faster Reaver. Okay, that's actually weird. I thought he would have just ran the shuttle past into Bonyth's base and just prayed for Bonyth to just retreat. But it looks like he's trying to take a fight with the Reaver advantage. But Bonyth just has too many units, and now without these center gates, I mean, OyA just can't make units anymore, and he's expanding, so yeah.
Bonyth has 3-gate. OyA has no gates right now. He has half the amount of goons. He has no Zealots. They're all gone. And he was like, yeah, I need that Nexus. And I just, well, now it's double Reaver, and this kind of changes the story a little bit. This is a tight choke, but he's going to micro this Reaver and get the most ridiculous shots off.
No, I actually really like this play from OyA, because if he just rebuilds the gates inside of his base, like, he's just playing from behind non-stop. At least here, if he can somehow use this X Factor, which is the double Reaver shuttle, to defend his expansion, he's going to have some way of getting back into the game. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. These two Reavers are connecting with some incredible shots, and they're just in the backline, the Nexus as well, soaking up a lot of shots. These Reavers just micro to perfection. Oh, at the end, though, slips up. The shuttle with the one Reaver inside goes down, and that's going to be enough, really, because, again, OyA doesn't have gates.
Yeah, as you were saying, that Hail Mary that he was going for, when you're that far behind, you kind of have to go for something like that, because you're just never going to catch up if you match the gateway count. And he almost held, but that one Reaver in the shuttle, or going down with the shuttle, now well, Bonyth might actually kill this Nexus. He's got a lot of DPS here with just the 4 units. He might even pick off that Reaver. He realizes that it's isolated and it's going to fall with that last shot from those couple goons. But the Nexus still survives for now. But look at the supply. It's 60 to 39.
Yeah, and with a couple more reinforcement Dragoons here from Bonyth to be able to push in and end this Nexus. And now Bonyth has a Nexus advantage on top of basically having the same production. OyA GG's out, and 1-0 for Bonyth.
Yep, a 1-0 for Bonyth, and the scouting was crucial for him. As I mentioned, I thought he was just going to copy Snow's build, which is go straight goon. But getting the scout off, he responded perfectly. The Forge was a good response because, as I mentioned, we saw that in ASL, both players ended up going for a Forge follow-up, and it was a very weird game. But actually kind of let OyA crawl back into the game with his Zealots not doing anything. And I can't believe that shuttle died with Reaver in it. That might have actually saved the game for him.
Yeah, I mean, it really was that close, honestly. I think if that micro mistake at the end didn't happen, if he just let the 2 shuttles kind of, or the 2 Reavers rather, just unload over and over, probably he loses 1 Reaver, but just an extra shot or 2 from that Reaver would have probably held. And then it's probably still, I mean, it's probably still decent for Bonyth because, you know, he killed those gateways in the middle of the map. But it was close. It was close. I kind of like that from OyA. It was also kind of unfortunate because, you know, in the middle of the map on Polypoid, like, unlike most maps, like most maps, you have like a very specific spot to put middle buildings. But on Polypoid, it can kind of be all around the center. So depending, like, if OyA had spawned top right, his gates would have been kind of to the left side, and then the probe wouldn't have scouted it. But at the same time, the probe probably would have scouted top right first. So anyway, that was obviously fortunate there for Bonyth. He knew exactly what was coming and held. And now it's going to be game 2, which is going to be on another map, of course.
Yeah, so that was OyA's pick, right?
Yeah.
Polypoid.
Yeah.
I think
it's gonna be on Bonnet's map pick. There.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Eclipse or Tau Cross, because to me, Eclipse is similar to Bluestorm in the sense where you can start getting aggressive from the get-go. It's a 2-player map, so I feel like we're gonna see Eclipse most likely, but we could see, I guess, something unusual, like I will say unusual Shakuras, because I feel like that kind of, well, Shakuras could be a good map also, simply because you know you're playing OyA, who likes to proxy, as we just saw. There it is. Oh. And it eliminates proxies almost, unless he goes for the, you know, ridiculous, like 66% chance, okay, he's on this side of the map. So we'll see if OyA can tie it back up, or if Bonyth can go up 2-0 in this series. It's his map. It's Shakura's Temple.
Oh, apparently we crashed, so we have to remake the game real quick. I was gonna say, yeah, most unusual map, Shakura's Temple. Almost said Shakura's Plateau, man.
Shakura's Plateau. That's another blue map in a different game. Oh, I love that map. Oh man, you have no idea how many people raged against me on that map.
I have a good story of this one, man.
Oh yeah, hit me with it, because you were actually good in StarCraft 2, not me.
No, I wasn't. I mean, you know, I'm gypsy. So.
You're alright. You're alright.
No, but you know this Shakura's Plateau, man. You know, you know who I was friends with early in StarCraft 2 was Mr. Skew, and then Mr. Skew was like, "Come play my friend. Come play my friend." And of course, you know who was his friend? It was Drone, man. It was Ret.
It was Ret.
Yeah. So I'm there. He's like making me play Ret. This was when I was you know. This was a long time ago. And then, you know, he hosts Shakura's Plateau, and I'm like, this is a terrible Terran map, man. Why are you making me play this? You know, in the lobby. And then I smack Drone, man, and he's like, yeah, real bad map for Terran.
Yeah, you beat him with bio or what?
Yeah, it was
bio, we're already
man.
In the game.
We're back in the game, dude.
Yes, so at bottom right we got Bonyth, and in the top left we've got OyA. So again, we've got cross spawns But this time, no real potential for proxy gates unless OyA goes to like mid-left, mid-right.
Yeah, and in the top left, it is OyA. In the brown Protoss.
In the brown Protoss.
No, yeah, okay. I'm gonna. Should I just keep you in the dark about this? Seriosity kept calling red brown.
Oh, he kept calling it red brown. No, I wasn't there for that series. I
know
actually
you
stayed
weren't.
up. I stayed up there for one series, October Zerg versus Bonyth.
That was an exciting one.
That was something. That was not the best. Not the best day for October Zerg. Bonyth kind of proved he is rock solid versus any type of aggression. Now we do see that both players just standard pylon opener in their main.
Yeah. Well, there's not. I mean, on this map you can proxy, but you generally, since you can't proxy in the middle, you kind of gamble between the. You have like a 60% gamble, right, where you proxy on one side of the map, and it's closer to two of the bases, but most of the time. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Get some quick maths for you guys, I'm sure. Most people know what I'm talking about. Yeah?
Yeah, sometimes people do that to me, but not often. And it's always the great... Oh! We got two gate for Bonyth in his main. Meanwhile, OyA is the one teching. So we're going to have some Zealot aggression coming out from Bonyth's side. Now, as I mentioned, guys, in Team 4 and All-Stars versus Korea, Snow, every single game versus Protoss, ended up skipping the Zealot, simply just microed a goon to victory. So obviously OyA played in that series, and he probably is thinking about that, but we see that he is not going to go for the pure goon play. He has built that Zealot. It's going to be coming out in the next 20 seconds or so, and Bonyth is going to see the bad news that OyA ended up spawning at top left.
Yeah, this is terrible for Bonyth. I mean, this rush distance is pretty significant as well. So I don't see this doing any damage. I mean, OyA already has one Zealot out. There's no Zealot anywhere near OyA's base. So really, I mean, by the time 3 Zealots get there, there's going to be a Zealot and a Dragoon at least holding the ramp, and possibly the second Dragoon coming as well. So this is just, you know, unfortunate for Bonyth. I mean, it's definitely not game over, but this really shouldn't do any damage.
And look at this timing from OyA. Intercepts the Zealot, so he sees what's coming. He does see that it is a 2-gate, and Cybernetics as the follow-up. Meanwhile, OyA, I thought he got ranged and then cut it for something. He's not upgrading anything. Okay, he instead puts down the robotics right there. I think that's a robotics. That might, yeah, there it is, robotics at the front.
Yeah, that's interesting, because, I mean, he's kind of just building it in front of Bonyth's base, and Bonyth knows that there's no goon range on the way. I don't think you can really abuse that with these three Zealot attacks. So overall, for OyA, it's actually fine that he skipped Dragoon range, just because Bonyth went for 2-gate, and this isn't going to do anything. Like, the Dragoon came out and started hitting these Zealots early. Bonyth does kill OyA's Zealot right away, but that did buy OyA a lot of time to just put on damage. So really, he cannot afford to lose probes, though. That is some mining time lost, as long as no probes go down.
Yeah, he lost mining time, but overall, this is almost perfect defense from OyA. He loses 1 probe, but at the same time, Bonyth lost his scouting probe also, so not a big deal. Don't know, I think OyA actually sent back his scouting probe, so he ended up not losing that. Now, he has continued to not get range. This might be a Nexus follow-up.
Well, this is really risky. I mean, we'll see if Bonyth can actually punish this, but delaying the range this long, this Nexus is really expensive. Like, it's 400 minerals. Everything Protoss has early game is very expensive. Now, does he decide between making a Dragoon or range next?
Yeah, but even though it's expensive, you have to think about it from Bonyth's point of view.
He hasn't started range yet.
He lost 3 Zealots for free.
Yeah,
Bonyth doesn't know that this guy is building a Nexus, of course. So it's not like he's just going to A-move across the map with 4 goons into 3 and just get a free one. He's going to play passive because OyA could have put down multiple gates right now. So I think this is an okay move from OyA, but he needs to instantly go for Reaver. That cannot be a shuttle first. And as you mentioned, still no range.
I mean, I think he almost forgot it at this point. Like, he added the gate. He definitely would not want to add the second gate before range. So OyA, he might play this game out without upgrading range. There you go, finally getting it. So maybe that was intentional to get the second gate out first. But really, these Dragoons are absolutely worthless without range. They're so terrible that even though there's a Reaver here, I actually think this 6 Dragoon attack from Bonyth can end the game.
Yeah, but if Bonyth sees this, he's not going to be thinking, oh, this guy doesn't have range. He's going to see a Reaver and back off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, now he knows that.
Well, he doesn't. Well, he sees it. He's just going to pounce on it. There's no good range. Like, the game's over. That's it, man.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that he did that, and now he's going to get rewarded because he killed the Reaver instantly, and he can micro down these goons. I thought for sure that Bonyth would back off.
It's just so, like, the thing is, I know exactly what this kind of build from OyA is. Like, it's such an abusive build, and it's just cutting way too many corners. Like yeah, it's the thought process. It's just sometimes, man, you have to just slow down your gameplay. Like, yes, the range is 150 minerals. Get it. It's an important upgrade. You know, you can't just get every other building before. Like, it's important to play very methodical in a sense. And skimping on that, I mean, he's just going to lose the Nexus. He's going to lose the second Reaver as well.
Well,
he has no range. Like, these Dragoons aren't even shooting. They're just kind of chilling there.
Oh, those 2 goons don't connect, but now they come in and they do connect, and that's 2 Reavers down along with the Nexus, and again, still no range. So those Reavers, or those goons the entire time weren't firing. Now Bonyth has his Nexus up, and he's going to have a huge econ swell, and I know that his Robo's already done too. Don't know if his support bay is done. Oh, he ended up going Observatory. But yeah. He's just going to start running away with it just because he didn't get range. And that's a 3rd Reaver. But that might get picked off also.
Well, range finally finishes, so these Dragoons aren't worthless anymore. But yeah, the damage is done. The Nexus is so fast for Bonyth. He killed the first 2 Reavers. I mean, this is going to be a tremendous hurdle for OyA to overcome.
Yeah, Bonyth even has 3 gates, so he has production advantage. He doesn't have the Reaver advantage because we know that OyA's already has 1 out. But he's just going to have a massive econ spike in just a minute. The Observer comes in and sees that, oh wow, you haven't even restarted your Nexus yet. You don't have, matching gate count. This is a fantastic position. I think all Bonyth's really looking for right now is, okay, did you go for something sneaky like Hidden Citadel or Templar Archive, and I have to worry about like a DT potential counterattack, and he sees that that's not the case, and he's going to be feeling like he's just in the driver's seat at this point. He even has an Observer chasing these goons and shuttle.
I mean, all you have to do is Bonyth in this situation is just kind of chill. I'm surprised he's moving out here. I feel like if you just sit on your 2 bases and ramp up your production to 5 gates and just get your probe count up, it's impossible to lose. I think this is the only way Bonyth could lose, is taking a premature engagement. Of course, OyA still has a shuttle and a Reaver, whereas Bonyth, okay, finally Bonyth has his own. So this should be even. Bonyth has way more Dragoons though. He's going to pounce forward. Bonyth's Reaver is not in range just yet. OyA unloads and reloads the shuttle, and now he's going straight for the main. Is Bonyth going to be ready for this?
OyA just now put down his Nexus. Meanwhile, Bonyth is responding with goons scrambling to get back to the main. But second goon pops out in the nick of time. Bonyth already has his Nexus. He's going to lose the shuttle. Yeah. And that means that OyA is in a world of hurt to a potential counterattack. Oh, he just taps out. He knows he can't hold it. And that's going to be game 2 going over to Bonyth.
Yep, it is going to be game 2. Not much to say there. I mean,
I guess it really came down to that range. Like, as you said, he saw that, oh, that's an isolated Reaver. You didn't shoot back at me, so I'll just kill it.
The thing is, he could have done that. Like, he could have done his Nexus build, one gate Robo Nexus, but just get the range first. Like, it's just so unnecessarily greedy. Like, It's not even greedy. It's just like it's not a build. Like it's not even a build. It's not even a cap.
I think if you play that on ladder, that you'll get away with it quite often. The problem is that Bonyth, he's another tier than that. If you watch any pro stream, every time they play PvP, they poke with the goon to check for range. They always do it. And Anonymous, thank you for the massive gift.
It's not even, it's not even. The Dragoons aren't even a unit without range. Like it's not even a unit.
I'm aware of that, but what I mean is that when you play this,
I know when you poke there and you see that, you back off because you're like, I can't attack this. But
what I mean on ladder is they probably don't even poke. Is what I'm getting at. But Bonyth is gonna poke to see if you skipped out on something.
I mean, there are some builds where if Bonyth does certain builds, more passive builds instead of the 2-gate. Like obviously with the 2-gate opening that Bonyth had. And not just that, but the thing is, there's two things that played here, right? Like Bonyth had the 2-gate opening, but he also scouted the robos, the range skip robo. Yes, he just built the robo in front of the probe. Like the probe was still in the main. Like, and he saw that there was no range. Like obviously Bonyth is gonna go for an attack there, or at least poke. Like, because it's not even that there's no range, it's that he knows he has 2-gate versus gate robo. Like obviously he's gonna poke in.
I didn't notice that the probe scouted that. I thought he just saw.
Anyway, I mean, it was an unfortunate game, of course, for OyA. Like these things happen in the tournament setting, but as a player, like that's the kind of game, like it's just a free game for Bonyth. Like he did nothing special. Like he just wins because OyA doesn't do a build. Like it's frustrating because I feel like I'm almost projecting my own frustrations, but like OyA is just giving away a game that there's no reason to give it away that easily. Like absolutely no reason. So that's really unfortunate for him. And game 1 also, he tried something crazy. Game 2, he tried something crazy. Maybe he just doesn't feel confident to play Bonyth. That is clear.
Yeah, sometimes you feel like you have to pull out something special. As you know, I have many friends that have played in a lot of tournaments, a lot of high quality tournaments too. And they always ask me like, oh, I'm playing so-and-so. Should I cheese him? I'm like, well, do you practice cheese? And usually it's no. And it's like, well, you need to play your best build versus this guy, even if it's, they've practiced versus a lot, because at least you've practiced it quite a bit. So maybe OyA needs to just play more standard. I mean, now I know he can cheese because he does that often, but it already got shut down in game 1. Maybe it's time to just play a standard opener. OyA can play, a real opener versus other Protoss players for sure. He's a very strong PvPer. He just needs to have a good engagement go on his side. Obviously, it's very hard with somebody like Bonyth microing on the other side, but it can happen.
Yeah, exactly. And okay, we're actually, I think the players are gonna get ready for the game. But before we get into this last game between Bonyth and OyA, or this last game rather, this game 3, I'm just so let's just go to a quick break, guys. I'm out of here. Ultra is trying to get out from the sides. He's leaking a bit.
Well, I like how Terra has kept all of his units at his natural after containing with just 3. Oh, this is just going to be a surround from Ultra. He's going to send in vultures from the front, and he's going to try and bust through the back with drop ships also dropping right on top of the tanks. This was a really nice move from Ultra to be able to clear out this tanks, and he didn't lose a single tank just yet. However, he's got to be careful because Terra's matching the drop, and now he has lost one tank. Yeah, it's still alive.
Destroying everything, dude. The bunker just saved Terra. I mean, the lid is still on, man.
Is he going to kill that tank also? I think he's going to kill that tank also, and Terra's reinforcing this, and this attempted save of his natural is turning into a disaster. Well, this is make or break for him. He's moving all of his units to the top side. Wow, one drop ship gets picked off, and now there's nothing to support them, and those are going to be dead drop ships. I wonder if this is a bait. I think it is a bait. Yeah, I think it is a bait. He's trying to draw
That's so many tanks,
defense
though.
over there. Yeah, that's so many tanks, as we mentioned. Or as I was saying, Terror, he's got a massive concave. Ultra busts out, but he loses so much that eventually Terror's... Damn, that's... Actually, he just got obliterated there. There's only 4 tanks remaining, and Race can clean this up now.
Yeah, he got blasted. He's trying to place a command center there, but Terra ain't gonna have any of that.
They ain't having none of that. Now the Race are gonna slowly tickle these tanks to death. Now, okay, tanks and Vulture's gonna unsiege, and he's just gonna jump on this army, and there is the GG. All right, guys, we are back and potentially going to be in the last game. It is going to be game 3 between OyA and Bonyth. OyA had some cute openers in the beginning, but got punished really hard by Bonyth, and he's looking to close it out. We are waiting for the players to get into the game, and of course, waiting to see what the map pick is going to be. You and I have discussed a little bit on broadcast that we think that OyA needs to just chill a bit, play a bit normal game. You think he's going to do that, or you think he's going to continue, you know, going with what it seems like, where I can't beat this guy, I got to do something special to get a slight lead or massive lead versus him?
I mean, OyA can definitely beat Bonyth, man. Like, that's the thing. Bonyth is the type of player, like, he's at such a level where, and not just level, but like a reputation where people kind of automatically just assume that he's significantly better than them, and so they start rolling the dice. And you know, when you're someone like Bonyth, I mean, anyone can look like a god when you get 3 wins like that, you know, like so I just think this is also kind of my own philosophy as a player, I guess, but you really just need to play a very, like, confident, solid game. And, like, yes, a lot of players can get wins by playing kind of more coin flip approaches, I suppose, but, you know, the reason why Bonyth is so good, and you can see it when you watch him play, is that he's just really consistent. And that's true for any pro. Like, any pro that plays this game is really good because they're just really consistent and they play very solid styles. Powerbomb is going to be the map, though.
There we go. I'm a bit surprised because if OyA picked first and then Bonyth, this is an OyA pick. And he's decided that he's going to risk his life on Powerbomb, a map that is not in the ladder. You know, not a map that you're going to be practicing that much. So let's get into game 3. Potentially Bonyth is going to make it out into the round of 4. And that's going to end OyA's run in the BSL. He's not going to be destined to get to the finals. Let's see if that ends up happening. Alright, in the top left, we have our red Protoss. He needs your energy, chat. It is OyA.
And on the bottom, it is the blue Protoss, Bonyth.
Yeah, so this is actually pretty good spawns for OyA because Bonyth can't run directly into, well, not easily into OyA's main with something like a Reaver, a drop, and trying to harass the mineral line. Meanwhile, OyA having direct access into the main, that's going to be, once he scouts this, he's going to be feeling pretty good about his spawns. Of course, the big question is what's the opener for both of these players? Remember last game, surprisingly, Bonyth ended up going for that 2-gate in his main. We'll see if he opts into that again.
Yeah, I mean, it did absolutely nothing, but it worked out for him in the end, so it would be surprising. Well, not scouting yet after Gateway. You know, generally, Protosses do scout after gateway, I guess sometimes after gas even. Bonyth has been scouting after gas. I mean, he did in the Polypoid game, I forget when he scouted last game. OyA not scouting just yet.
Well, we have to point out that Power Bond, I think, might be the only map I've ever played that has 10 mineral patches in the main.
Yeah.
And that means that we could see some type of ridiculous all-in, like 3 or 4 gate, Goon, Speed Zealot, something along those lines. Now, before you say I'm crazy about the Speed Zealot, when I watched Rain, was it in KSL? I can't remember, but he played some Protoss. He ended up on Coliseum. He ended up just going really hard, 4 gate. All in, and with the extra mineral patches we may see somebody pull that out. Meanwhile, we're just seeing standard openers so far, just straight cybernetics from both.
Man, Coliseum, such a sick map. I almost feel like we should play that map again.
Coliseum's a good map. A lot of foreigners have had good success on that map. And I will point out that there is a very famous game between Ret and Nada on that map. You guys should check that out on YouTube. I think Hydra versus Draco was Tau Cross, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah, regardless, Coliseum is a very cool map. Oh, look at that starter step micro. You are not getting in, Mr. Probe. And OyA not upgrading anything.
Neither Probe.
That Citadel in his base? Oh, Robo.
So going for this style again, but... Well, I mean, he is the Protoss player. I guess he is an expert, but personally, that just seems a bit... The problem with skipping range here is that generally in PvP, this 1 Zealot, 2 Dragoon move out off the 1 gate into the middle of the map can be very important. 1 Zealot, 2 Dragoon, 3 Dragoons. You can poke out. Again, in PvP, it's one of the only matchups where you can get some pretty decent scouting with just your units, because it's very non-committal. Like, you know, if you think about TVT, like vultures can run each other down, ZVZ, Zerglings are just so volatile, but in this matchup, like, you can just poke, take some damage on your shields, and then just come back.
This is what I wanted to see. If you're gonna cut range and you're feeling like you need to be greedy versus somebody, I love how he's going straight support bait, because he knows Bonyth most likely is going to poke with these goons. And when he pokes and sees there's no range again, what's going to be going through Bonyth's mind? Uh-oh, might be DT, I got to go Observer. So I love the fact that he's going for straight Reaver here, because as long as this is not DT opener from Bonyth, wow, is he going to have a super strong army when they actually fight. I'm imagining at like the natural potentially, because I think OyA should push out with this.
Well, we'll see exactly what happens. I mean, so far, he poked down his ramp without range, which is a bit risky in that you can kind of give away the fact that you don't have range. But clearly, this is something that OyA has prepared against Bonyth in his practice games, because he's done it twice in a row now. Probably in that first game, it wasn't as well integrated because it was kind of a weirder situation against the 2-gate, and because OyA had a huge advantage from just clearing the 3 Zealots, probably felt like he could get away with the Nexus on top of doing this normal build. But this time around, I guess we will see exactly what OyA's idea was behind skipping range, because this is kind of a very standard game. This Reaver timing is going to be very fast. It's going to allow him to get the shuttle inside the base really early.
Wow, both players ended up going for... Okay, I thought it was going to be Reaver first for both. And this time around, Bonyth did not poke at all with his goons. He ended up poking with a second probe, but the goons did not really reveal whether they had range or not. Now, the Reaver is going to be sharking around the bottom side of the map. And does that have speed? It seems like it's moving... Okay, I thought it was moving faster than it was.
It did.
Oh, it did? It does. It kicked in. I was wondering why he didn't have range for so long. So he rushed speed. He's going to drop into the main. Oh, this is so dangerous. He gets a couple of probes, and he sneaks out. Oh, he wants some more. He's playing with fire. He takes down another probe there, and really that shuttle didn't lose that many health or that much health. It did lose all of its shields. I think it's got 64 out of 80 health.
Yeah.
So still a decent amount of life left over.
I'm trying to see whether or not Bonyth actually, no, he does not have a natural started. So that was huge for OyA. He was massively ahead. He got 4 probes for free. This range went unpunished. And now, I mean, he's just ahead probes. You know, he has range as well. I mean, he has speed as well for the shuttle. Probably has 2 Reavers at this point. He can take a fight. That is a lot of Zealots, though.
He still has no range yet, though. It's like 30 seconds away. But Bonyth doesn't know, okay, we're going to engage. No, he's just going to take 2 shots from these Reaver. It's still 2 versus 1. He takes a big hit onto that Reaver. I think even the secondary Reaver got splashed. That's from downtown.
So many Zealots for OyA. He doesn't actually have that many Dragoons, and Zealots are completely worthless at this stage in the game. Like, they're really, really bad units, so...
Oh my gosh, this is not the angle that OyA wants, but
he only has 5 Dragoons fighting, though. With the 2 Reavers is a lot, but the shuttle goes down, and OyA, his Dragoons aren't even attacking. Bonyth's shuttle or Reaver goes down, and actually, OyA's gonna win this fight massively. What?
Yeah, he cleaned that up, and he saves a single Reaver, and now, look at supply, 60 to 35. This game is donezo. Unless there's some type of miracle Reaver shot.
That's it. That early shuttle harassment from OyA really paid off. I mean, it was so many probes, plus Bonyth had to pull them off mining as well. Well, I guess that's exactly what OyA was trying to do last game, but this time it worked around. It worked better because he didn't build a Nexus.
Yeah, he didn't have to worry about that Nexus and taking a lot of poke damage. He was able to just bring the fight to Bonyth in the center of the map. Now, of course, OyA doesn't know the ridiculous advantage he's at just yet. He is worried about something sharking on the top side, but we know that he is completely in the driver's seat. Reaver's going to come out now, but that shuttle does not have speed, so he can't even go for a backstab anytime soon. Meanwhile, the observer is sitting over it and knows that that's the case also. So OyA feeling really confident. He sees the 3rd gate going down for Bonyth. So that's going to be putting Bonyth kind of all in really on this one base.
Yeah, Bonyth is just trapped. I mean, this is it's over. Like, there's really not much you can do as Bonyth. Like, maybe if Bonyth gets Reaver speed and dives into the natural, kills a bunch of probes, but again, with the observer just out of range actually of the shuttle. No, it looks like Bonyth is going to try and push down. That's what the 2 Zealots are for. He is going to get position on the natural, so decent fight here to take from Bonyth. Double Reaver shuttle, no speed just yet for the shuttle, and OyA respects it back off.
Oh, he drops in the main as soon as Bonyth moves out. This is perfect play from OyA right now. If the scares will actually land. Okay, he does get, what, like maybe 1 or 2 probe kills and escapes. Wow, look at how he's just not mining the main because he transferred all of his probes, and now supply lead is 80 to 65.
Yeah, I mean, again, just such a difficult situation to be in. I mean, Bonyth hasn't even started his... Has he started? No, he doesn't even have a natural. So, I mean, the one thing for Bonyth is, I feel like OyA has the same production as Bonyth, so it doesn't really matter whether he has an extra Nexus or not. Double Reaver connection for Bonyth. Really sick damage, actually, from Bonyth's Reavers compared to OyA's Reavers. OyA's Reavers only now finally connecting with a couple of Dragoons, but so far, this is looking like a good fight for Bonyth. Is he going to lose that last shot, Reaver? No, he does not. Nice micro from both sides, but actually Bonyth comes out ahead, and that was really a huge win for him, considering he was behind on supply.
Oh no, he might just be tossing these Reavers in the gutter.
He's gonna lose if he does this.
He throws both Reavers, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, no! And now Bonyth can actually go for a counterattack. Supplies are even. Bonyth, you gotta go right now, man. I don't think you're gonna get a bigger gift at this point.
Oh, he's going. Dude, this is giving me flashbacks. Well, flashbacks. This is almost like what happened in Flash versus Snow, if you remember when Flash was playing random. Like, Snow had a whole Nexus on, you know, more than Flash did, but really it takes a while for that Nexus to kick in. You have to make extra probes, and the reality is that OyA only has one extra gateway than Bonyth does, and because they're similar in supply, of course OyA has way more probes. Bonyth should have a couple more units, or at least it's even in supply, but the Reaver, double Reaver here might be enough.
Oh my gosh, that shuttle, remember, it does not have speed, so it's dangerously fragile. First Reaver's going to move out from OyA. That's another big hit from Bonyth, though. Oh, he snipes the shuttle, but he doesn't lose any Reaver just yet. Those connections are huge. They're hitting so many goons, but now there's just way too much OyA. He's going to end up cleaning up this attack.
Yeah, and Bonyth just didn't even have all of his units together there. I feel like that was just so close for both players. But yeah, OyA does hold, and now
he has Zealots. Oh, I thought he had Zealots in there. I thought Zealot Reaver would be a good combo right there, but he's just going to continue to push the issue through the front. Now going to sync up his Reavers with that small army. And again, Bonyth is going to be pushed back, and because he's lost the shuttle and Reavers, he just has gateway units right now.
Yeah, he just has gateway units. I mean, this time around, like, now, really, you can't come back from this. I mean, the thing is, he shouldn't have come back from the first push, but OyA kind of just YOLO'd in his one shuttle and two Reavers.
Well, that's what happens when you face some AoE, and especially when somebody can micro as well as Bonyth. It can easily turn on its head in an instant, and unfortunately, OyA just did not have the hits that Bonyth got. Okay, now OyA coming into the Nat, but there's a lot of goons here. Okay, he gets a couple oh my god, one more hit, and that would have been see you later shuttle.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing, like, you know, OyA is trying to do too much once again. Like, I mean, it doesn't, you know, I don't think he's going to lose, but the reality is OyA is already ahead. Like, he's massively ahead. He knows his economy is way ahead. Like, trying to harass Bonyth when Bonyth is already in a super defensive position when you're already ahead is just kind of pointless. You know, like, it's a risk that you don't need to take. If that shuttle goes down with the Reaver, that's actually a good trade for Bonyth, and he's going to inch closer to evening the game out. So, really, like, once you're ahead just a bit, you don't need to desperately try to get even more ahead, because that's how you toss a lead. And I feel like that's exactly what happened earlier when OyA ran the shuttle inside of Bonyth's main. You know, at this point, OyA is so far ahead, he just needs to play solidly, just macro up and do a nice A move bust here, and this is exactly what's going to happen. Zealot speed is finished. They are buffering in front of OyA's army. He unloads the Reavers to the side.
Oh, both of his Reavers take a big Scarab shot, but he blasted a lot. Oh, he loses both of the Reavers again, but it's simply too many units this time. The Reaver micro and the shuttle micro is, maybe it's not, because the Reaver's coming in through the back side. And again, Bonyth is going to maybe hold this attack, but supplies, he's now being doubled.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Finally, OyA does do it. He is going to put a game on the board, and this might be the makings of a comeback. You know, like, you really, as OyA has the skill, you know, to beat Bonyth without a doubt in my mind, and all you need is that confidence, you know, and this is the start of that.
It could be, because he is finally going to get that win, that 92% win rate. Now what? It's probably, what, 90%, 88%, something like that. And there it is, GG. So the score is going to be 2-1. Not going to be the last game of the day, Gypsy. Yeah. Not going to be a 3-0.
No, don't even look at me like that. I was actually helping OyA out. I just cursed Bonyth, you know? That was the whole plan all along. So yeah. OyA is going to win a game. It is going to be 2-1 in Bonyth's favor. And finally, I mean, this might be, like I said, the makings of a comeback.
It could be, but at the same time, if I'm in that situation and I have, like, such a massive lead like that, and then Bonyth almost comes back with his two Reaver shuttle after I botch an attack at the natural, I'm just thinking to myself, like, what do I need versus this guy to actually win the game? Like, why didn't he just die? And he even almost lost at the, almost botched that attack at the very end. He was lucky that he's up 40 supply and Bonyth's supply is only 40 in total. So OyA, this could be the comeback, but it was not that clean of a victory.
Well, I feel like in this next game we're gonna see DTs from someone.
Yes, yes. I was also thinking that both, like OyA every game, it's like, okay, well I'm just gonna be mega greedy.
Yeah.
Time for DTs. Actually, I think both of them are gonna go DTs. Actually, that was my prediction as I was watching these games. I'm like, wow, both players need to just go DTs, and whoever gets it out faster and realizes it's going on, somebody will hold a DT on the ramp, another player won't get in.
Yeah, or maybe we're just Terran players thinking about TVP, you know, or like, yeah, DTs. No, I don't know, because, you know, if you're in Bonyth's shoes and you see exactly what OyA did there, he's probably watching the replay real quick. Okay, this guy, 2 games in a row, skipping range, going straight into Reaver. You know, one thing that comes to mind is you could go DTs. Another thing that comes to mind is, you know, what would actually be really good against that, I think, is probably like a 1-gate expansion or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Which is what, like, OyA could just go DTs to kill him. That's why, like, we're in a space where if Bonyth is thinking about how to counter what OyA just did, OyA's thinking about, well, he's thinking about that, I'm just gonna make some DTs.
Yes, I was just about to say, this is where it starts getting to the ultra mind game.
Yeah.
Bonyth's looking like, this guy doesn't build OB, I'm gonna go DT. OyA's like, well, I've showed him that I don't build OBs, he's gonna go DT. So I'm going to go OB, but he knows that I don't go OB. So he's probably thinking I'm gonna build OB this game. So
and the map's gonna be Eclipse.
So I'm actually gonna go Reaver. Yeah. So there's all types of mind games going down. It's going to be Eclipse 2-player map. Let's see if OyA is going to start staging that comeback. Right, in the top right, finally turn that goose egg into a 1. It is OyA.
That goose egg, dude. I think most people don't know what you just said.
Turn that 0 into a 1 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, turn that 0 into a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
And on the bottom left, it is Bonyth in that blue Protoss.
I'm hoping somebody in chat has been keeping statistics of blue versus red. I want to find out who at the end, who's the stronger color.
You mean blue versus brown?
Yeah, blue versus brown.
I mean, it does look maroon. Like, I won't lie, this red, like, at least from our feed, does look a bit maroonish. Not, you know, kind of fitting, because we have a moron right here.
Who? You?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright. Well, we've got both players just standard pylon placement. We'll see if anybody wants to get nasty. Something, some type of shenanigans. I kind of want to see Bonyth go for a 2-gate again. OyA, not so much. I don't really want to see him do that.
I kind of don't want to see either player going for a 2-gate.
No, you don't want to see that? I do. I want to see somebody
maybe
bring it.
Yeah, but Bonyth won the game. He went 2-gate, but it had nothing to do with going 2-gate.
What was that? I didn't hear that.
He won a game.
Yeah.
With 2-gate, but it had nothing to do with going 2-gate.
Yeah. Had to do with the greed. And
well, I mean, anyway, yeah.
We do have both players going for the gas, so nothing unusual so far. But again, you know what I've been noticing consistently? Other than the proxy gate game, OyA has been the one to late scout every single game. So he's looking to get a slight lead in that sense by getting his econ a little bit stronger than Bonyth.
Yeah, but this is risky because the timing at which he's scouting, Bonyth can get a Zealot out on the ramp, and especially on this ramp, it's easy to just hold it with just the 1 Zealot, so it's very possible that OyA does not get any scouting intel, and the probe, if microed correctly, can stay alive for a really long time. Generally, it stays alive until that 3rd pylon, and consistently though, OyA has just been building the well, last game at least, Bonyth was not in his base to see the robotics go down. Bonyth is trying to get... Okay, actually the probe gets inside of the base before... Ooh, okay. Actually, Bonyth lost his probe.
Uh-oh. Now we might really see the DTs. And I would really like to see him just go straight Reaver. Because he has to be thinking that this guy thinks that I just skip obs all the time and I'm probably going to go DT. Or, yeah, something like that. And I would love to see him just go straight Reaver this time. Meanwhile, OyA G's probe is still alive, hasn't taken any... Oh, that might have been a misstep. Exiting the base, but Dragoon pops out. So that was a smart move, and that, I think, is a... Is that a second gate?
Oh, he's doing it again, man. He's just skipping range.
Oh, that's a pylon. Yeah, he's skipping range to go for that fast robo again.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see the same build we just saw on Power Bomb.
Yeah, man. OyA just has, like, kind of a mental edge in a sense here because... I mean, Bonyth did lose his probe, which kind of almost always forces you to get those robotics out because he lost the probe so early that DTs could come out extremely, extremely fast, especially if you if you imagine this being range skip into Citadel. So the most consistent play for Bonyth is to get that robotics, unfortunately. But we've spoken about this. If Bonyth would have just kind of like YOLO'd one gate expand, like he'd be in such a good spot.
Well, maybe. It's... Sometimes it is, but if you get backed up into a corner, Reaver shots all of a sudden start packing a big punch. Now we see 3-gate follow-up with the Robo, and this is going to be a lot of goons. Meanwhile, range is coming in for OyA now, and this was a straight support base. So again, he's playing really greedy, as we were talking about with the Mind Gates. I think, despite not building obs every game, not going DT every game, I think this was actually the move, and maybe set up for DT in the last game is what you should go for. Because he got range this time, that means that this shuttle should not have speed. So if he does go in for some Reaver play, he's got to be very, very careful with it.
Yeah, the Reaver is out for OyA, and OyA is gonna take an expansion. Now this is risky. I'm actually surprised that Bonyth, like, he's just stayed at home with his early units.
Well, I'm not too sure he knows.
He's had 2 games to watch the replays, man. Like, he should, like, right now he should know exactly what he's against because the Reaver shot and the Dragoons didn't. Like,
yeah. But this time, OyA's getting faster range, and by the time Bonyth gets across the map, I actually don't think he's going to have range, but it's going to kick in, like,
I don't know, man,
pretty quickly. And hopefully that is a second Reaver coming out. Once the second Reaver comes out, it doesn't matter if he has range or not, because as long as OyA isn't on hold position and, like, actually just moves into them, the goons aren't just going to get away for free. Like, they can't just move in, pop the Reaver, and
I really want to see the Cybernetics core, man. It has to stop spinning before the goons come in, because this looks like a good defensive position for OyA, but really these goons are not covering anything. Okay, range does finish.
He's got range. He's got range. He's got the shuttle too. Oh, he's got to be careful. Don't load it up. Okay. He loses both. Wow.
Well, actually, at least range kicked in. If this was a second gate with no range, this game was over. But actually, Bonyth still punishing OyA here. I'm surprised there's never a pylon at the natural for OyA just to soak shots and be more defensive, but somehow Bonyth pounces onto OyA's position and completely smacks him.
Well, these are things that you think about after the game is over, and also there was a goon not firing for OyA because it was like on A move, but then he A moved too fast and it kind of just stopped. Now 3 goons are just one-shotting these probes, ends up taking down a goon.
Look at this micro, dude.
Playing with fire. Okay, Scarab shot's gonna butt out.
Ooh.
Butt out.
Did you see that split though? He was splitting the Dragoons as well. Bonyth, of course, always immaculate with his micro. Killed a bunch of probes and now has his expansion going as well. 3-gate robotics versus 2-gate robotics, but of course, not a shuttle and Reaver just yet for Bonyth, though the first Reaver does pop out. And you know what I learned yesterday, Nyokin?
Uh-oh. What did we learn?
That in Heroes of the Storm, there's a Reaver mount. You can ride a Reaver on the map, and it's really fast.
Are you sure it's a Reaver? Reavers aren't bad. Why would they make a Reaver mount? It's the slowest unit in the game.
I saw Tyrael flying on a Reaver, or mounting the Reaver. It was crazy. It's the craziest crossover of 2 games I've ever seen in my entire life.
I am probably going to Google that later, because I didn't know that. That would be hilarious.
I feel like Heroes of Storm is your game, though, and it's basically, you can play Diablo 2 and StarCraft at the same time.
Yeah, well, you know my opinion of HOTS. That's not a game. That's an incomplete
I'm not talking about Heart of the Swarm.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, man. Well, we got Bonyth coming in for a second attack. This time around, OyA, no shuttle, but he's got more goons? Maybe? Maybe an even amount of goons. Observer falls, that's critical, so that means that the Reaver can poke in for free.
No shuttle for OyA. This is massive.
Oh,
There's pounce on the shuttle!
Oh my gosh, 1 health! And it survives.
He's still going! He's crazy!
He got
this
it.
Bonyth guy.
Yeah, oh, he got it. And that was not what Bonyth was looking for. That was a big misstep there, and both players end up throwing their first Reaver, really. And that means that now Bonyth is going to not only have to rebuild the Reaver, which we see, he's also going to rebuild that shuttle. It gives OyA breathing room, and supplies are now pretty much dead even. Forge coming up, and that is a big upgrade in PvP. Both players, I think I saw the Citadel for OyA at the top of his Forge, so they're going to be matching +1 weapon and also matching speed climbing almost.
That was a huge blunder by Bonyth, actually, and now, I mean, shuttle speed does finish. He does have another shuttle and Reaver coming in here. I don't think OyA has a shuttle just yet. He went for the second Reaver, so with speed, it'll be much easier to poke here for Bonyth. And these double Reavers, they can't push out. That was actually very aggressive from OyA to try and get out of his base. This shuttle's going to come in. He's going to try and go for some harassment with the speed. It does allow him to do so, though it is a bit risky. Oh, is he going to load up?
No.
He does. How many probes go down? A chunk. But is the shuttle going to die?
Oh, he gives up his shuttle and Reaver, and that is... Okay, well, he gets 2 more probes, but that's not what you were looking for. Well, oh, he ended up saving the shuttle. Now, OyA, he desperately needs to get a shuttle out because we see he has 2 Reavers. His army is super strong, but he's feeling not confident moving out like this. Okay, now he's going to move out because he just has an overwhelming amount, but his Reavers haven't fired just yet. Now from downtown, they get a connection. And this is a really strong army that OyA has right now. I wish he had a shuttle.
Yeah, I think the shuttle's probably on the way. I don't know if that was enough probes to justify that. At least Bonyth did keep his shuttle alive, but it is in the red health, so it's going to be very susceptible to getting sniped in the next fight. But I don't think Bonyth can push the issue. I mean, maybe. It looks like he's going to come from the side, and OyA has no idea where Bonyth is coming from, so this is going to be a favorable engagement from Bonyth, but actually he's going to go with the shuttle more to the north side, unloads the Reaver. One shot connects in the middle of that clump of Dragoons. 2 go down immediately. A bunch of Zealots for OyA. I don't know if he has Zealot speed on the way. Yes, it actually does finish, and he has a bunch of gateways, so this is a nice timing for him.
Oh my gosh, he's just going to try and overwhelm Bonyth's army. Bonyth is scrambling to escape. Supplies are slightly in favor of OyA, but there's 2 DTs moving across the map, and this is the perfect timing because it's about to start getting nuts. And with the game, oh, does the Observer see it? No, it doesn't, because that's not even
That's
OyA
actually
Observer.
Yeah, that's
Bonyth's Observer, but now the Observer sees it, but OyA can't turn around. He's going to lose so much. He does turn around, but that's also going to bottleneck him now at his natural. And you can see Bonyth, he's instantly counterattacking.
The timing on these DTs is incredible, and I don't know, like, did he know there was no Observer, or has he been sniping Observers?
He's been sniping the obs.
That's right, that's right. So that was a sick tech switch there from Bonyth. And anyway, you want to get Citadel Templar Archive soon. Yeah, and Bonyth, or I mean, OyA gives up the position, and now he just completely contained this 1DT inside the base. Is still killing probes.
Yeah, but there's action at the front, and OyA can't balance both. And that's one Reaver falling. The shuttle's super low, but he doesn't catch it. But the Reavers of OyA are not firing. Look at supplies now plummeted down to 75. The main is getting ransacked. 11 probe kills on that DT. And this is probably going to be the end. But there's 3 Reavers here, and they're packing quite a punch. What's he doing?
Shuttle coming inside the main.
Oh my God!
Kill so many probes, but actually he targeted the Dragoon, so the probes get out alive. But the DT is still in the base, has 12 kills. There's no observer to spot it. That was the 3rd Reaver coming out of the robotics, so there's not like a 2nd observer to work with. And this DT is just fighting 10 probes in the Dragoon alone.
He's gonna kill it.
Dragoon, and now he's gonna go back to killing some more probes. It's so annoying. Meanwhile, Bonyth is pushing in the front. The 1 Reaver is killing 2 Reavers off the shuttle in conjunction. Just an amazing micro from Bonyth. That Reaver is still green health, but it actually goes down inside the shuttle.
Get the DT on camera. How many kills he at? Oh my gosh. I wish I could have seen the kill count on that DT, because I think that OyA still didn't realize that it was killing everything. And one move from Bonyth changes the tides completely. Literally 2 DTs. They were even before that. Even more Reavers for OyA. But the positioning, the brain plays from Bonyth, they're just next level. And Bonyth, he takes the series 3-1.
Yeah, and OyA had all the Reavers he needed, but I guess he just didn't have the materials mounting them.
Yeah.
That was a clutch play from Bonyth, and it was looking so close throughout the game. And even Bonyth had so many, like, he had a couple of slip-ups there with trying to harass and losing the shuttle and Reaver. But does pull through kind of towards the end there. That DT switch was absolutely clutch. 3-1, Bonyth gets into the semis.
Yeah, and he picked off, I think, 3 observers throughout the game to set him up for that DT play. I didn't think anybody was going to go Templar. I thought we were going to see Gateway Flood like what OyA was doing with the 6 gate. I thought somebody might even go up to 8 gate and we're just all in Goon Cell at Reaver. But not the case. And Bonyth sneaks out those 2 DTs and secures the win. And that means that he is going to be our first moving on into the round of 4. And that unfortunately means the dream for OyA to go to the finals. Well, that's just going to be a dream. He's not going to make it to the finals this time around. But again, he had a nice showing. And sometimes the brackets just don't go in your favor. And this time around, it wasn't DeWalt that got Bonyth. It was the other Protoss player this time, OyA, and he ends up falling to the king.